Will San Diego real estate ever have another buyer's market? Well, that's what we're going to get into in this video and let you know where we currently are, what a buyer's market is, and a few things that would need to happen to move us into that direction. Now, over the past few years, it has been heavily skewed towards a seller's market, meaning the sellers have had the upper hand. There's been multiple offers. Multiple offers will typically put the sellers in the driver's seat because they can choose their price, their terms, and anything else that is important to them. As we move more towards a buyer's market, that is when buyers will have the upper hand. We haven't seen that in the last 12 years here in San Diego. So, will we ever see one again? Let's jump into that right now. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris Erickson with the Beach Life Group. And if you are ever thinking about making the move, you got those questions, you want to start that conversation, all of our information is below where real estate is right here in San Diego. And you're looking to move, buy, sell, relocate, whatever it might be, we got your back when making the move here in San Diego. And if you do dig this video, you like what you're seeing, throw us a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. We're dropping videos every single week to let you know everything you need to know about the San Diego real estate market. So what is a buyer's market and how do we consider if it's skewed towards sellers or buyers? There's a few indicators that we can look at to let us know what kind of market we're in, besides all the stories you're hearing from your friends about how crazy the market is. But this is how we have a good gauge on what's the demand and what's the supply and how are those working together to see what kind of market we are in. So typically buyers are in control of the market when house hunters, meaning buyers, can pick from listing inventory, meaning sellers, that equal 6 months or more of sales. So the more months supply equals the more skewed towards a buyer's market. If the supply is 3 months or less, home buying logic says it's a seller's market. Anything in between is called a balanced market. Throw that on a visual. Anything on the left side of this going into the red is going to be a seller's market. Anything to the right or the green is going to be a buyer's market. I think San Diego is a little bit different than a typical 6 months and over is a buyer's market. I think a buyer's market in San Diego kind of starts a few months earlier, maybe in that 4 to 5 month range, where a balance may be in a 3 to 4 month range. So a seller's market is definitely in that 2 to 3 month range. But what does month supply even mean? So let's check this out. You can calculate the month supply by dividing the total number of homes for sale over the number of homes sold in 1 month. For example, if you search in a neighborhood, for this example, let's take Southern San Marcos. So Lake San Marcos, Discovery, and San Elijo Hills, that 92078 zip code. And you notice that there are 30 homes for sale. Last month, the number of homes sold was only 10. So 30 on the market divided by the 10 homes that sold last month, it means that there is 3 months supply left in the market. Now, those numbers aren't real because right now in San Marcos, that number is much less than that. But just for an example to tell you where we are, here's how it is calculated. In that same example, if there were 30 homes and 15 homes sold in that same time frame, then we're looking at a month and a half supply of inventory, where on the other side, if there were only 5 homes sold during that time, we would have a 6 month supply of inventory. So you take that and scale it up to a bigger scale, and that's how these numbers are being put out. So just for a little history here, 1999 is right around these parts. You can see during that time we were in a seller's market. Now, when I give you our definition in San Diego, I think a lot of this time too was still in a buyer's market. As you're getting over that 4 months supply of inventory, I think it's skewing towards a buyer's market here in San Diego. You can see it shot up significantly here. This isn't a San Diego chart, by the way. This is all of the US, but this is going into the buyer's market range. This is when we did have the last market crash. You can see today where we are is well below that. So in this chart, they're giving seller's market. Anything below 6 months, 6 to 7 is a neutral, and anything above is a buyer's market. And you guys know what I would put on for the San Diego market, which is a little different than this. So where are we currently at? This is not month supply. This is actually weeks supply. So right now we're sitting at 8.7 weeks, or just over 2 months supply of inventory. This is for all of San Diego County. And as I say in a lot of videos, it is so important to look at your own little neighborhood. If you're thinking about selling your home and you're kind of looking up, okay, where are we? Is now a good time to sell? Are we in a heavy seller's market, buyer's market? Obviously, the best time to sell is when you need to sell and when you want to make that move. But if you're looking at these numbers and trying to figure out what's going on in your neighborhood, it's going to be a little bit different because every zip code is different. Obviously, San Diego, there's so many different zip codes and different little micro markets. This will give you a good picture as a whole, where last year we were sitting about 2.5 months supply of inventory, so 10.5 weeks. This one, we're sitting a little bit lower. So we're in a little bit even more of a seller's market this year than we were last year. Whereas in 2021, this is when we started having, this is kind of when the market was a bit more frenzied. This is when everything was selling. We didn't have our seasonal drop towards the end of the year, no October, November, December, going into the new year. Things were just selling and selling and selling. So during this time, it was just over a month. It was like a month and a week supply of inventory. So what's going to start skewing us towards a buyer's market as opposed to a seller's market that we're in right now? One thing we could do is have more listings or more homes come on the market. As we get more homes coming in on the market, and let's say we had the same amount of buyers, over time, the month supply of inventory or the number of homes out there is going to build a little bit. So the more homes on the market, and the less amount of buyers out there, so homes being supply, buyers being demand, we're going to have month supply build. The more that builds, the more homes that are actually on the market and stay active for multiple weeks and potentially multiple months means that buyers out there will have a chance to look at everything and actually have a choice. That's the biggest thing that happens in a buyer's market. The buyers usually have more choices of homes for sale out there. So you're not all fighting over one home like we have seen in the past. And buyers will also have a little bit more negotiating power because sellers, their home has been sitting a little bit longer. There's not a ton of interest all of the time. They're not selling the home in that first weekend. So maybe they're getting a little more anxious. Maybe they're a little bit more willing to negotiate on price and terms. So number of new listings is historically low here in San Diego, where we're sitting at 511 homes for sale. Last year, we're almost creeping up to where we were last year, which was super low at 538. And then even in 2021, we were a few hundred over that. So we're sitting at 732. So if we do see new listings, the number of new listings come on the market grow rapidly, that will help skew us towards a buyer's market. Second thing would be if there's less buyers out there. So if interest rates do hold higher for longer, we'll likely see less buyers out there in the market, meaning any homes, even though no new homes came on the market, they're taking longer to sell, which is adding to the inventory as new homes come on. Then once again, it does start to skew a little bit towards a buyer's market. So less competition from buyers with the same or a little bit more homes than we currently have will start to skew that number towards a buyer's market. Now, if we have significantly more listings coming on in the new year and buyer demand is lower than it is right now, well, that's going to swing it in both directions. So less demand, more supply. We're swinging that number towards a buyer's market. That's what we saw in the last housing crash. There was a flood of new homes coming on the market. A lot of that was foreclosures and just a lot of other stuff going on. That was also less buyers out there because a lot of times when we do get in these buyer's markets, if we are skewed towards those, it means a few things too. Well, in this case, interest rates are high. It doesn't always mean that. That's just in this case what we're seeing right now in this current time where interest rates are a little bit higher, squeezing a few buyers out of the market, but also economic times were potentially a little bit less than they have been. So less jobs out there, maybe some other things going on in the economy that are not allowing buyers to enter the market. So as we do skew towards a buyer's market, sometimes we do see that as well, where the economy and other factors play into the lessening of buyer demand. And I think right now, one of the hardest things that we're seeing increase is the number of new homes for sale, because a lot of people who are making the move are also buyers as well. So a lot of times we remove a buyer, move down a buyer, whatever it might be, you're selling your home, you're buying another home. So you are adding to the buyer demand in that case. We are not seeing as many homes being listed right now. A lot of it due to interest rates, a lot of it due to the end of the year. I think coming into the new year, we're going to have a much better picture of what to expect and find out if we are going to see another buyer's market here in San Diego. So if you got this far and you guys have some more questions and you want to pick our brain, all of our information is right down below. We got your back when making the move here in San Diego.